Yeah. Unk and Phew basketball edition, man. You know what time it is. I'm here. I'm with Jay, your guy, Big Steppa, your host with the most, and I'm here with Jefe, man. Unk, the basketball uncle. We bringing hoops edition in this, man. Talk to the people. How do you feel, man?
I'm doing real good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. And I had to bring in a real hooper for this conversation because I'm not a ball guy. I'm a football guy, but I
Okay,
love
okay,
hoops
yeah.
too. And
Mm-hmm.
it's been a great, playoffs. You know what I mean? So,
So far, yeah,
how do
it's
you
been
feel
good.
about? What you say?
I said so far it's been pretty good.
It's been very good, my man. You know what I mean? But me and Unc, me and Hefe. Oh, my bad. Me and Hefe have some issues, man. We have one beef, one mini beef, and
Listen,
that beef is Lakers, and we got to start with that, man. I am a LeBron guy. Hefe, tell us how you feel about LeBron.
listen. I'm the first one to admit I'm not a fan, um,
Oh,
in the regards of what he brings to the Lakers, especially the Lakers.
okay.
As what he as a player, what he's done statistically, you can't
Mm,
knock that. I've never gonna knock that as much as I make fun of him and stuff like that with everybody that loves LeBron. But as a
mm.
statistical player, he's incredible. But is he my guy? No. I'm a '90s head, so you know who the real goat is on that one.
No. For less than 2 minutes in the episode, we're having a goat debate. Are
No,
we
no, not
really gonna
debate.
do
I'm
this?
just saying. I'm just saying who my goat is. That's it. That's all. I just wanted to start
Mm.
that off there.
Oh my god, man! Shouts out to the people in the chat. Shouts out to She Loves Dior. What's up? What's popping? Welcome to the Hoops edition of Unk and Few. Everybody in the chat, feel free to slap a like, get us popping, get us going. We're gonna talk ball. My goat. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. It's LeBron James. It's the GOAT, man. LeBron James, but let me say this. He underperformed versus the Nuggets, man. Versus the Nuggets, this proved to me that LeBron is really an old man. And unfortunately, as great as this man is, he can't put it all on his back. How did you feel about that series versus Denver?
Now, you pretty much hit the nail on the coffin there. Like he is what, he's 39 now, almost 40, season
Yep.
21. Like you got to give it to him for being at that age, playing at that level. There's no way around that. You have to give him props for that. But like you
Mhm.
said, he can't do it all. This is supposed to be AD's team, and AD was nowhere to be found. So LeBron did what he could, but it wasn't enough. Wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough. And shouts out to Shadow AR19 in the chat. Appreciate you for coming in. You know LeBron is the GOAT. Hefe, I'm sorry, man.
That's
You
okay.
got some people who are fighting some
Yeah.
narratives. We got Roy J. Bailey who knows the deal that there's somebody, a kid from Akron, now an old man from Akron, allegedly. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
We got Shadow AR saying that again. And let's speak to the chat for a quick second.
Yeah.
Do you feel Anthony Edwards going to win the playoffs? We're gonna get to that in a bit, but what are your thoughts, fam? What are your thoughts so far on uh, you know, Ant Man so far? What are your thoughts? Do you feel that Ant has the potential to go far this playoffs?
Yeah, for me, yeah, I think he's gonna go
Mm,
far, but the inexperience may become an issue,
mm,
right? The inexperience, like what Jason Tatum was a few years ago, going in, leading a young team, going into the deep end of the playoffs. That's the issue. Might be the experience.
the experience is huge, man. And we're gonna get to talking about Ant in a bit as we go on through this conversation. But something that I really wanted to touch on, and this is huge for me, was one of my favorite players, really, and really, really sad to see what's been going on with this guy. He's gonna go on the screen in a quick second. We're talking about Kevin Durant. You know what I mean? The
Hmm.
Suns literally got swept. You know what I mean? How did you feel about that? What were your thoughts? There's even rumors that the coach might get fired, Frank Vogel, man. What are your thoughts on the Suns underperforming? Because early in the season, I thought they were the team.
Yeah, they looked it right. The chemistry was there. Everything was hitting on all cylinders. But
Mm,
I don't know. Again, it was it the inexperience of Booker, because he was supposed to be the star now. KD's the older man. He's supposed to
yep.
be the leader, but he's never been an actual leader. Like
No.
you can argue that in the Golden State era with him when they joined them, but he wasn't their leader. Steph's their
No.
leader. Well, some might argue Draymond was their leader, but we're not gonna go we're not gonna go there for that one.
Well,
But
Draymond was punching people in the face. I don't know what kind of leadership that is.
yeah,
Punching niggas in the face?
that's
That's a
crazy.
leadership?
Yeah, nah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like so, with KD moving, like he gets a lot of slack for that, but is
Yeah.
it's not really his fault that it was allowed. It wasn't frowned upon to move from team to team. So he does get
Mm,
that snake thing added to him. But when you look at
yeah.
KD's career, he's a scorer, man. There's no way around it. So
Not
scorers are
at
going to
all.
score, and then scorers may not be the leaders. And as people are going to roast me for this one, but
Ooh.
like look at the Bulls. MJ score, right? That was his
Score.
mentality
Yep.
first. Score, win
Yep.
at all costs. But who was the actual leader of that team? You look at that second unit who led that team. It was Scotty. Scotty was the actual behind the scenes leader of that team. So like, and don't get me wrong, I still say
Mm.
MJ is my goat, but Scotty from the get go was always my favorite player. I have his shoes, I have his jerseys. We all wear
Most nah.
Jordans. We all wear Jordans, but Scotty
Yes, we
was
do.
the first pair of shoes I ever bought were flights that Scotty wore. So that's
Whoa.
yeah, that's who I when I played, that's who I wanted to be like. Didn't want to be like Mike, wanted to be like Scotty, be a leader, be fundamentally sounder everywhere, and
Mm,
but that's the thing with these young guys now. Like Katie, I call them young, but like he was never a leader, so maybe he wasn't able to lead
mm.
the Suns.
Man, Shadow AR and Roy are going off in the comments, man. They're telling MJ to go play golf, man. MJ is too busy having cigars and drinking liquor to play. But you know what? Hefe, I fully agree with you. There's been such a downplaying and disrespect for guys like Scotty, guys like Dennis Rodman, guys like the guy with the glasses, the big guy.
Horace Grant.
Horace Grant, thank
Hmm.
you. You know what I mean? So many players in that Bulls dynasty that made Jordan get 6 rings that get ignored and disrespected.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Scotty number one. You know what I mean? So for me, that's why LeBron is my goal because LeBron does so much that impacts the game. And that's why I was so mad that they lost to Denver because LeBron in his younger age had the capacity. LeBron was a two-way player at a certain point, but now he
Hmm.
focuses so much on offense
Yeah.
that it ruins his play. It ruins the flow of the Lakers. If you watch that game last night with Minnesota versus Denver, Anthony Edwards was going two ways, man.
Yeah. 100%.
Defending the hell out of Jamal Murray,
Hmm.
defending the hell out of KCP. But at this point in LeBron's career and age, he only has to he focuses on offense.
Hmm.
KD can only focus on offense. You know what I mean? I don't think he's a defensive guy at all.
No.
So the Suns were getting whooped by the Timberwolves because they just want that team. They didn't have that chemistry, bro. You know?
No, that's exactly it, man. If you see Ant in the way he plays, he leads the team while they're playing, right?
Yes.
He's directing the floor, and that's I think that's one of the things maybe in LeBron's earlier career because he was so good, because he was like
Mm,
explosive. He didn't learn to do that. He didn't learn to
yes.
lead his team enough to where he didn't have to be put everything on his shoulders. But that's me saying me, and the comments are probably going to hate that. But there's certain aspects that when he got into the league, granted he was the most scouted, he was the most talked about, all that stuff. The pressure of that alone,
Mm,
could have cracked anybody. But I got to give it to the kid. He was able to withstand that, withstand the media pressure, and then play it'd make a difference to the team right away, right?
Facts.
But the leadership
Let's
thing
talk.
for me is the different is the difference.
It's a difference. That's facts though. But let's talk about this guy, man. What happened to this dude? What happened to this guy? People in the chat, get in the chat. What happened to this guy? In a closeout game, I think he had like 4 points. What happened to this guy?
Yeah, that maybe too much pressure, cracked, couldn't do it. So he wanted to be third option. I don't know. It's hard to say with the Suns because they've never been a team that I enjoyed watching play, mainly because I've never been a big Devin Booker fan. But that's I guess
Mm.
that's bias on my part. But yeah, I never really enjoyed watching them play. But yeah, he disappeared for sure.
This man was a ghost. You know what I mean? And he wasn't no Danny Phantom. I like Danny Phantom. That's a good ghost. I like Casper the Friendly Ghost, but this man was a ghost, a pure ghost. And it wasn't even an entertaining movie like, Ghostbusters, because you
Hmm.
couldn't bust him because he didn't exist in the playoffs. But we got to talk about somebody that does exist in the playoffs, man. And this is my dog. I want to know what you feel or what are your thoughts on this guy. There's been some kind of hesitation about calling him a star. But how do you feel about Jalen Brunson
Ooh,
and the Knicks? The Knicks were looking so good, beating the Sixers in 6 games, and they won in Philly,
yeah,
in
yeah.
Philadelphia with that crazy crowd. Even with Maxi hooping,
Hmm.
Embiid was averaging like 35 something points in that
Hmm.
series.
Hmm.
How did you feel about this dude and his performance this year, man?
Yeah, he's stepped up, man, for sure. Like
Mm,
again, that's a pretty relatively young team,
yes.
with no real exposure when you look at like TV ratings or stuff like that. It's not the Knicks have, or obviously the Knicks, right? They're a legendary organization, but like for him to do what he did to Philly is he's up and comer. Would I call him a superstar? Not yet, but he's an up
Not
and
yet.
comer for sure. Yeah, up and comer. We'll see how
I
he like at the end of this playoff, see how he takes it, and then next season, you can call him then a superstar or whatever you want to call him for there
There's been rumors that Booker's trying to come to the
to
Knicks.
the
That's
Knicks.
the rumor. Your guy Booker allegedly
Is what is
might
KD trying to bring
be
him over to the Knicks? KD trying to leave too? Like,
KO. That's a package.
imagine. Yeah, that'd be quite the
Wow.
quite the trade for sure.
Because KD was with Brooklyn. So at that
Hmm.
point, it's like he's running back to New York, but that would be crazy. Do you
Hmm.
think that could work or no?
Chemistry. That's the biggest thing, right? Like these
Yeah.
guys, they love to play together, but is the chemistry fit? Right? Was KD the first option or was Booker the first option? That's the thing nowadays,
Mm.
right? Speaking of chemistry, we're not gonna maybe not touch on this, but like Kyrie and Luka, like
Oh, yes.
right,
Yes.
like that interview where Luka's like, "Oh, I need to do more to help Kyrie." Like Luka's a star in his own right. That was his team. Kyrie came over
Hmm.
to supposed to be helping Luka, but for him to say that, like that says a lot about him.
That's actually funny enough you mentioned that because that was gonna be the next topic, brother.
Ah,
We're
perfect
talking about
segue.
Clipper. Yeah, hey man, you're smooth at this, man. I would think you've been broadcasting for a minute, man. I mean, Luka Doncic and Kyrie, these guys are absolutely amazing together, man. And
Mm,
to beat the Clippers, and it's always the same excuse with the Clippers, man.
yeah.
And you know what? I'm gonna be real with you. I used to be a very big Kawhi fan, very huge Kawhi fan.
When he was in Toronto for that 1 year,
Not even just
no
Toronto, even when he was with the Spurs.
Spurs,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? I was a
Hmm.
big fan of Kawhi because two-way player, very fundamental. Like even like if for me, I would try to hoop like Kawhi. I wouldn't try
Hmm.
to be too fancy. I'm just
Hmm.
trying to get the job done. You know what I
Yep,
mean?
yep.
But then he started with these injuries, this load management, all that BS, and I lost a lot of respect for him. And like you see it, the Clippers, man, horrible.
Yeah,
Losing in 6 to the Mavs.
to the Mavs,
How
yeah.
did you feel about that series? How did you feel about all that?
I was surprising when Kyrie came over. I was like, man,
Hmm.
why would Dallas do this? Like, I was never a big Kyrie advocate.
Yeah.
When LeBron came back to Cleveland and Kyrie kind of took a back seat, I think
Mm-hmm.
that triggered him to be more selfish. So when he got
Mm-hmm.
traded to this team, wanted out of that team, I kind of lost respect for him in that regard because I'm like, yo, you want to be the main option, you have to earn the main option, right? LeBron
Yeah.
earned the main option, so
Absolutely.
him going back and forth, I was like, so I was a little hesitant when he came to Dallas, but man, like I don't know if they talked behind the scenes or whatever they did, but it's working for them for sure.
So working amazingly.
Yeah,
And then you think about what's happening right now. Like Shadow saying right now, Book is Luca's son. Yes, Book gets his ass bust. I
yeah,
I, I know Hefe's happy every time he
yeah.
sees it. I know you're happy. Don't even
100%.
cap.
100%. Keep it coming,
I
Jack.
know
Keep
you're
it coming.
smiling
Yeah.
ear to ear when you see Luca busting up on
Hmm.
Book.
Hmm.
And because Luca is just such a dominant player in so many areas, I just wish he worked on his defense. But
Yeah.
other than that, him and Kyrie are such a great combo because anytime Luca has some, spots where he's not balling, Kyrie's there to balance it out
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
be clutch. I saw this one play that Kyrie did. Bro was in the air with like three guys, arms up, spread out. He does like a 360 spin around in the middle air layup, and I'm like, my
Yeah.
mind just it glitched, dog. I didn't
Yeah.
get it.
No, it's crazy the control he has of his body when in the air. Like very few people
Yeah.
have that control. So for him to be doing stuff like that is super impressive for sure. Crazy to see though. Like the highlights are just next level for sure. Yeah.
And he's doing that against guys who are just huge. Like,
Hmm.
we watch it. We're fans, we're watching it, right? In real life, these dudes are literally 6'10", 7 foot.
Yeah.
Kyrie's just dancing on them, doing crazy layups. I'm like, what is this man on right now?
Hmm. Yo, man, I guess that flat Earth stuff has something to it. I guess gives them
Hey
better
man,
gravity.
I don't know what kind of drugs and meditation this guy is doing, but we should try it or something.
I was gonna say, if get you to play like him, then yeah, I might have to try that stuff.
Gotta start believing in flat earth or
Hmm.
whatever. I don't even know what it is, bro.
Yeah,
But I'll tell
that's his
you,
name. Um,
yeah.
Gilbert Arenas. I was watching a podcast that he mentioned what
Mm,
you were saying about Luca being non-defensive because he just focuses on offense. But yeah, like
mm,
in this day and age, you'll probably get some hate for this one, but this day and age,
okay.
defense doesn't seem to be that big of a priority. Like, look at AD. AD is supposed
Yeah.
to, AD said I was the defensive player. He should be the defensive player of the year or whatever, and then he couldn't even stop Murray, who cooked them. So, like, defense
Oh,
defense put a back seat in the league nowadays. So, is it important for Luca to be more defensive? I think so in the long run because that'll help him
mm.
win championships for sure. So, maybe he can focus on that while Kyrie keeps cooking people. So, yeah,
That's fair. That's fair. And you know really unfair is Kiana cooking you right now. She's like, you will hurt your ankle if you try the move.
I
I
said
mean, damn, you getting cooked, man. You gonna
it's all
fight
good.
back, brother?
Nah, you know what? And I've made my peace with not hooping no more. So I'm retired. I'm like Jordan. I'm gonna go have some cigars and go play some golf. So
No, no, stop the cap. As soon as it gets warm
I
outside, I have a ball court next to my apartment. We getting it in.
go shoot some hoops, and I bring my boys with me too.
I
Get
love it,
them
man.
hooping.
That's what's up. We need that.
Hmm.
We need that. We need that. But what we need is we gotta find these two guys. Have you ever? Do you know where they are? Apparently, they're MIA. Allegedly.
Yeah, no, these man, it's unfortunate because I was excited when they moved to Milwaukee, and I was just like, yo, finally Gilbert gets not Gilbert, Giannis gets some help that he deserves. So I was
Yes.
excited for this one, but yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
What I've noticed, man. I don't know if you've noticed this too, but super teams are kind of they're dying. You don't
Hmm.
see them no more. Like the
Hmm.
best teams are playing team ball. You think about, you know, Minnesota, obviously, OKC,
Okay, see, yeah.
Denver. but this style of you go, ISO ball,
Hmm.
I think it's leaving because I thought Giannis and Lillard were gonna dominate, kill it, and I'm a fan of Lillard.
Hmm.
I like Giannis too,
Yeah,
but the way they got absolutely destroyed by the Indiana Pacers, and some games were not even close; they were blowouts. Some
yeah,
of the
blowouts.
games,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I'm like, damn, how did you feel about that series, man?
It was like I said, it was surprising because like you, I'm a fan of both of those guys, right?
Yeah,
Like much respect to Giannis for sticking with the Bucks his career. He won them a championship and all that, but it
yes,
was just I don't know. Maybe the it wasn't fully there for them. Maybe they just need one more year to like a full complete year, and maybe they'll
mm,
get their stuff together. But yeah, but no, I'm happy to see the ISO ball leaving. I
yeah.
love the team ball, the chemistry, all that stuff. Because like you said, OKC, do they have any superstars? No, they don't. But they're
SGA,
playing,
but not really.
but not
SGA is
really, right?
very, but not
Like
really. Yo, he's a team
he's
player.
no, yeah. So like they're playing team ball, and it also looks fantastic. If you look at ratings for the NBA
Yes.
stuff like that, like you're looking at that picture, it's gonna get people to enjoy basketball again. Well, I
Oh,
guess
absolutely.
yeah. Once uh
But
once LeBron leaves, finally.
no, no,
I'm playing. I'm gonna get hate for that one, but I'll get.
bro, do a thumbs up to the video, but do a thumbs down for Jefe, man. I'm sorry, man. We LeBron fans, brother.
Yeah,
But you know who really shocked me was this guy, man.
hmm
He really cooked the Pacers.
hmm
Like he was hooping in that series. Siakam was the guy. It wasn't even Halliburton. It was
hmm
Siakam who really dominated
Yeah,
that series against the Bucks, man.
I found this stride. I
Crazy.
guess found where he needed to be. So I know it's
Yeah.
been a couple years since he's been in Indiana, but like when he first got there, he was nah. It's like they made a bad trade, but now he's looking pretty
Mm.
good. He's getting back to his rhythm. So it's good.
Yeah.
We'll see him in the next round. See if he can continue.
They're playing the Knicks, so it should be interesting as
Mm.
to how that goes because the Knicks, I've noticed the Knicks are very, I'm not saying slow pace, but
Mm.
they're not the type of team that's gonna
The running
run
gun
up
to
the
the.
court. No, they're gonna take their time. They're gonna set some plays up.
Hmm.
And the way that Thibodeau, Coach Tibbs plays, or at least what I've noticed, he runs maybe like 6, 7 guys and doesn't really go deep in his bench.
Deep in
So
his
you'll
bench. Yeah.
have times where a guy like Josh Hart or a guy like Jalen Brunson or DiVincenzo are playing like 40 minutes. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, like whoa.
Yep. It's
And
crazy, but
Pacers, these guys play fast. I've noticed
mhm.
Pacers play quick. I'm like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah. The old opposite play style, right? So no, that's going to be a
yeah.
fun matchup to see who controls the pace of the game because whoever does that is going to win.
Oh,
Pretty
absolutely.
straightforward. So but yeah,
And
it's nice to see Siakam ball.
I feel like it's also going to be a battle of good coaches. Like Roy just says here, it will be interesting.
Hmm.
I agree. One thing that's not very interesting is watching my team get crushed, get destroyed by Boston. I love my team, man. And this is Big Steppa. This is Jay. I'm about to cry, y'all. I'm about to cry, y'all. Y'all gonna see me cry on this Sunday night. I'm gonna match the weather in Ottawa. I'm about to have tears because I had so much hope for my team, but they lost, man. They lost to the
Yeah,
better team. How do you feel about the Miami Heat? Kind of disappointing compared to how they played last year and how far they went to basically
yeah.
the finals.
Well,
How do you
like
feel about
it's it
that?
was it was disheartening, I guess you can say, is the word I'm looking for when Jimmy went down. So like it's
Yeah.
it's almost like the air just kind of left the team, right? Like all their
Yes.
losses were what by 20 points or so. So it's just
Blowouts.
like yeah. So it's just like without Jimmy, they didn't have that energy because playoff Jimmy's is a different beast. So um,
Facts.
but yeah, it was sad to see. I wanted them to beat the Celtics for sure, but
Mm,
and when Tatum came into the league, I was excited for Tatum. I was like, yo, this
yes.
guy's gonna go. This guy's gonna do some things, but he's the Celtics in general have been a little disappointing the last few years. So I was excited for
Oh,
this one. I
no.
was like, yeah, Jimmy gets his revenge. Yeah, it was just too bad.
You know who really the Miami killer is? It's this guy, this ugly MFer, man. He is very ugly. I don't find any man good looking. I'll keep it real with you. I don't roll that way, but we got love for
Ah.
people who do roll that way. But this super ugly, disgusting looking troll, I might be biased. This dude was busting
Mm-hmm.
Miami ass, brother.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about Derek White outperformed Jason Tatum in my eyes
Yeah,
in that series.
I think
What do
so.
you
Yeah.
think?
No, you're 100% right. I think it was like unexpected source, but it was fun to see. And again, and that's where Jason Tatum should be taking the lead. He is the superstar on
Yes.
that team. So as a superstar, you need to lead your boys, but at the same time, you shouldn't be outplayed in a playoff series by someone
Yeah.
technically someone underneath you. But no, it was surprising and good for Boston because if they have another threat, then they're more dangerous that way too.
If we quickly look at the stats, he had 25 points in the closeout game, 38 points in game four.
Yeah.
Damn near
Wow.
40 piece. Game three, he was quiet. I think
Right.
that's the one that Miami won, but
Mm-hmm.
dude was playing ball. He was hooping. And what I believe Boston is the most talented team is pretty obvious,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't have Derek White be your number one option or your number two option. Some nights they'll clamp him down. Tatum, like you said, has to show up, and he has to show up consistently
Yeah.
in order for Boston to really go far. I
Make a
believe. You
run.
know what I mean?
Yeah. No, 100% agree. Yeah, for them to make
Yeah.
the run, they have to rely on their main star, right?
Yes. Yes, sir. And I gotta ask you on this. By the way, Shadow asked a good question. How do you feel about our coaching staff got fired? I'm assuming he's talking about the Lakers at this point. Um I think that unfortunately, as much of a big LeBron fan as I am, LeBron has so much control on his teams that he's become a coach killer, sadly. And a lot of the best coaches in the league have been with their team for a super long time.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Spoelstra, Mike Malone, the one for Denver Nuggets. Even the coach of OKC, I forget his name, but he's been there for
For
years.
years, yeah.
All these best teams, there's a trend that coaches stay there. The star players, they stay there, but the coaches, they stay even through bad seasons. So to look at what the Lakers have done recently, where I think they've had four different coaches in 7, 8 years,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. And then they're saying they want to get JJ Redick to come in. They want Ty Lue. Like, what difference is it gonna make?
Yeah.
like the players played like garbage.
Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead, Hefe.
No,
I
yeah.
get mad about it.
Exactly what you said. Like it's not, it's we're quick to blame the coach, right? The players are the stars. The players are the one playing. If they're not going to listen to the coach is there for a reason. They see the game differently
Mhm.
than players, right? And there's a lot of
Yep.
a lot of ex players that are now coaches. Granted, but like he's not a bad coach, right? Look
No,
at when LeBron got hurt, the Lakers were over 500, right?
they won a lot of
They won
games.
a lot of
Great
games. They
points.
were
Yeah.
playing team basketball, and and it's unfortunate, like you said. I think LeBron takes that away, where the coaching staff or even the players don't feel like they can play their style. They have to play LeBron style. So it's
Great point.
for them to be just to clear house. It's just like nah, because it's gonna get you absolutely nowhere. You're gonna be worse than you're off now. Like if they would have kept them on and done something different, maybe get some different players. Like everybody's blaming D'Lo for not showing up, but again, he's the third guy. He's the third superstar. It's supposed to be, well, in my eyes, it's supposed to be Anthony Davis, LeBron, then D'Lo, but it's
Mm.
it's LeBron. It's LeBron first, and then Anthony second, and then D'Lo's third with the rest of everybody else. So I don't know. For me, it was a bad move, but then again, what do I know?
Hey man, that's why you're Unc,
Yeah.
man. I'm the nephew in here. I'm gonna follow your guidance, your wisdom. You're the hooper. But what you said was complete 100% facts. 100% facts. Because if D'Lo's your third option, and then he has some games where he gets 0 points, that's a problem.
Mhm.
Because I'd have no problem with that if he was very good defensively or he was a two-way player. The thing that happened in that series is that D'Lo was playing horrible defense. That's why Michael Porter Jr. went off.
Mhm.
That's why Jamal Murray went off. Even KCP had some games.
Yeah.
So if he's not giving you anything on both ends of the court or limited on both ends, then you lose. You lose. And I don't want to just give it all to Darvin Ham because Darvin Ham, what can he do? He's not on the court.
Mhm.
He can drop the plays. He can motivate y'all, but he's not shooting the ball. He's not getting in front of players. He's limited. And you're absolutely right. When LeBron was hurt, Lakers looked like they played better.
Mhm.
Crazy.
Like, and that's the thing, right? Like, is it the pressure of being on the floor with LeBron? Like again, like Shadow
Mm.
says, it's totally D'Lo's fault. It is funny, right? But
It's cooking. His shadow's
yeah,
cooking.
but it's almost like the players feel the pressure that playing with LeBron brings. If they make a mistake or something, and it's
Mm.
and that's a crappy thing to deal with for sure. But again, to blame everything on the coaching staff. Like look at that play where they where he wanted to contest the ball where he like swatted it but missed it. They were up
Mm.
15. Up 15. You don't need to contest anything. Coach did the right call, in my opinion. Didn't You don't need
Mm.
to contest that. And then he got angry, started screaming at the coaches, and then they got a 2 points anyways. So like little plays like
Mm.
that is what irritates me because I'm like, as the leader, your team's gonna take that and see that, so they're gonna start doing stuff like that, and it just breaks down the team chemistry for me at least. And again, I'm not saying LeBron's a
Mm.
bad player. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying in his later years, how he's leading the team isn't
Mm.
isn't what it should be or where it should be. But that's all me.
Mm. I remember, I think it was this one where he was screaming at Darvin Ham at
Mm-hmm.
certain points, you know what I mean? And by the way, shout out to Mysterious who's here. Don't hurt him. We try not to hurt him. You know what I mean? We're trying to drop gems and entertain him. That's what we're doing. Is that right, Hefe?
That's right. That's right.
We're trying to entertain them and we're trying to make him feel good. We ain't trying to hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
We're not trying to hurt him. But like we were talking about, I had some issues with this play where LeBron got really, really mad. You know what I mean? At Darvin Ham for I think not calling a timeout or something like that, or not calling a review for a play.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron was technically right. You know what I mean? They should have ran a review. They should have challenged essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But for you to undermine your coach like that in front of all the players, that's horrible for team chemistry. And guess what's gonna happen? Let's say they hire JJ Redick. JJ Redick's gonna be a pawn, dog. He's gonna
Yeah.
be just, he's gonna be just doing whatever LeBron wants. And for me, I believe like having a great coach, sometimes the coach is gonna go in the star's face and has to coach. LeBron actually had an issue with Eric Spoelstra back in the Miami days. So Pat Riley went with Eric Spoelstra's side. You know what I mean? Spoel's side
Mm-hmm.
instead of LeBron's side. And allegedly that's why LeBron decided to come back to Cleveland. As much as I'm a fan of LeBron, I'm objective too. I criticize him sometimes too, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not foolish. Feel me? I try to be objective.
No, I get it. Unlike Shadow here, who's all about LeBron.
Yeah, shadow. We gotta get you a little more objective, my dude.
See, it doesn't matter
That's
if we're up
true.
by 30. Yeah. Well, that's the
Yeah,
thing. That's
doesn't
that's what
matter.
the coaching staff is there, right? So what he's saying.
Hmm. Let's get something clear though. LeBron been in the league for a while now. He's played against every team or coach. He knows what he's doing. I agree, but at the same time, it's like, bruh, you can't be a player coach. You have to
Yeah.
be one of the two. You know
one
what
of
I
the two.
mean?
Yeah.
That's
Like
what I
there's, and
believe.
again, that's the difference, right? Being a leader of the team and then being a coach. It's two different things, in my opinion. But
Absolutely.
the players can be coaches. They have, like, LeBron's basketball IQ is next level. Nobody's doubting that.
Huge.
But
Yeah.
some of the choices he makes on the floor, questionable. But
Mm. I look at it like this. When LeBron was in his prime, it was in Miami.
mm-hmm,
But the clear leader of that Miami team was Dwayne Wade.
there's Wade. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
And Dwayne Wade helped LeBron become a better leader.
mhm.
That veteran leadership, well, not veteran because they're basically the same age, but just have a dude out there who might not be the best player, but they offer some form of leadership, like a CP3.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like a guy who's a vet who can lead the team in certain ways that are beyond just the X's and O's. And LeBron's the oldest player in the league. It's very hard for him to take a back seat, especially
Oh,
as
100%.
the GOAT. You know what I mean?
Hmm. No, I totally get
So
it. Like, did you see
yeah.
the documentary of the Redeem Team? Did you see that one?
Uh, I didn't. I
No.
didn't see that one.
So there's a part there where they're talking about, how some player got hurt and then they kind of like tried to get Kobe to come over, and he was the missing piece to get them, where they wanted to be and all that stuff. But everybody went out.
Mhm.
So LeBron, D Wade, uh, Carlos Bouger, all
Mm.
those guys went out to a club one night, and then as they were coming home, 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning, Kobe was on his way to the gym. Right. So
Ooh.
yeah, so he was on his way to the gym. Everybody's like, "Yo, what the hell?" Even Carmelo's like, "Yo, I'm going to bed. Like, I'll see you guys at practice." So ever since then, right, Kobe in the gym. Everybody's mentality, Kobe's mentality is crazy, but
Yeah.
5 a.m. in the gym, and then they just started one by one joining him. So he changed the mentality of that team. Like, we're here to win gold for US. No way fans or buts. So
Facts.
that, not even saying a word, just leading by example. And that for me, I went in, and I'll say this: when
Mm.
LeBron came into the league, he was so hyped up that I was like, I started not to watch NBA because I was like, oh, who's
No,
this kid? Yeah.
you got turned
So
off. You got
I
turned
got
off.
I got turned off of NBA because I'm like, this kid he hasn't done anything, but yet they're
Yeah.
hyping him up to be, as he has that tattoo of the chosen one. So it was like it just hit
Mm.
me the wrong way. But Kobe was the leader of that team, of that Redeem team, and that was the reason why they
Yep.
were able to win gold. Like, all the players on that team, including LeBron, have said it. If it wasn't for Kobe, maybe they wouldn't have been there.
That's a perfect example of what we were just talking about. By the way, shout out to Shadow. Shadow's the MVP of the chat tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out to you. Kobe was my first favorite player, but I prefer Westbrook over him back then. I like Westbrook a lot too. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
He underperformed clearly in the Clippers series. Um, I think he's even trying to get traded, but back to the main point of what we're talking about, just on pure raw talent alone, LeBron James is more talented than Kobe,
Hmm.
right? But Kobe is such a better leader. He was the leader of that team. You know what I mean? And Kobe, I think, was a bit older. LeBron
Yeah.
was maybe like early 20s or something like that.
Something like that. They
And
were all young. Yeah.
it was clear as hell. They were young. It was clear as hell that Kobe was the leader of that team, and they won gold because of Kobe. So being a leader is not just about your physical talent and strength. It's about your mentality, the way you do it. You know what I mean? Some people are never gonna be 6'5" or 6'6", 250 pounds, 6'8". No. But they're better leaders on the court because they know they got vision, they have that motivation, they actually know how to lead a team. And that's a great point. That's a
Hmm.
great point, Mauricio. You know what I mean? I used to be a LeBron hater too. I'll be real. I was a LeBron hater until 2016 when they beat the
Hmm.
Warriors, man. Let's go back to that. We gotta go back to that.
You know
I
what's
used
funny
to
about
hate
that?
LeBron
Yeah.
until 2016, man. But
Funny about that. Like, it was, there
mm.
were, who would they face in the conference finals? I can't remember that year.
They I gotta let me search it up. Let me
You
search
search
it
it
up
up.
while
Yeah. Well,
speak
I
on it. Yeah.
tell the story. Like, I was at
Mm,
work with a couple buddies, and
nice.
I on YouTube, I found a hype up video for the
Mm,
finals, right? And they had Christopher Walken talking about, made some speech that he did in a movie talking about a lion and how he's just relaxing and all this stuff. And the hype video actually
mm.
made me want to watch the finals. I was like, you know what?
Wow.
This is crazy. I want to actually watch this game, like these finals, because I hadn't been watching basketball for a while, but I'm like
That's fair.
that got me, and then that whole series was exciting to watch. Like, I had Reggie Miller growing
Mm,
up in the '90s, pure shooter. Ray Allen in the
mm.
2000s, pure shooter. Like, so to see the Splash Brothers sitting there just shooting, it was
Yeah.
nice to see. But LeBron was like a different beast. Like, this guy, just his
Oh,
size is like, to me, he should have been doing that nonstop every game, just bullying people
yeah.
to get to the rim. That's it. Like, I think it was game 4 against the Nuggets where, like, just
Mm.
down the trip, he would just make it to the rim, instead of settling for a jump shot. Make it to the rim. No one's gonna stop you. Like,
No,
they had nobody to stop him except for Jokic, but he's not
nobody.
gonna he's not gonna play defense. So
No.
if he would have done that, granted, he is 39, so the body can take its toll.
Yeah.
But I was like, damn, like, this is the LeBron that should have been in his prime doing this instead of settling for jump shots. Like, he just bullied
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
It's definitely a different energy. I think if AD, by the way, I personally think AD was great in the Denver series, other than just some defensive moments where
Hiccups.
Murray, cooked him. But I'm like, who? It was just LeBron and AD really doing
Mm-hmm.
much, and I'm like, damn, you're facing the former champions. And by the way, I just searched it up. The Cavs played Toronto in the Eastern
Eastern
Conference
Conference.
Finals
Okay.
during that run in 2016. I think LeBron had like that buzzer beater, that crazy buzzer
The
beater.
one leg off the bank. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
that was,
one
oh
leg. I
my
was like,
gosh.
yo.
That was annoying. Yeah.
That was like the LeBronto era
Yeah.
where he'd go in
Hmm.
Toronto and whoop him.
Oh, and that was so frustrating because I was a huge, like, I still like the Rosen, but
Yeah.
that was so frustrating because, like, it's almost the Rosen disappeared, right? What do they call
Yes.
him? The Frozen or something like that? I was like, oh,
Yeah.
the poor guy, but like, he loved playing in Toronto. So when Toronto traded him for
Yes.
Kawhi, I was just like, it's a business move. It is what it is, but you know, he's still playing good in Chicago. So
You know what? It's when it comes to guys like DeRozan, unfortunately, something about him and the playoffs doesn't go. It's like James Harden. You know what I
hmm
mean?
hmm
Some switch goes in their head, and in the playoffs, they don't show up.
yeah,
You know what I mean? They don't do what they did in the regular season because DeRozan's a great player, actually, super talented, gifted. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Great mid range, amazing offensive scorer. But I have a feeling he's going to end his career like a Charles Barkley, never getting that ring,
that ring, yeah.
never getting to the mountaintop. Maybe as a third option or fourth option or a bench player on a random team. But
Mhm.
sadly, it wasn't the time. And every time they faced this guy,
Yeah,
it was an L. You know
yep,
what I
yep.
mean?
See, then that's what Jordan was doing to the league back in his era. Like, every time somebody faced
Yes.
Jordan, you were out. So how many people did Jordan not give rings to?
Oh,
Too
Patrick
too many,
Ewing,
too many people.
Reggie Miller.
So, and I think that's where the biggest comparison
Yeah.
for me is like, they say,
Hmm.
like, oh, LeBron was, oh, he comes back, he's the greatest game 7 player ever, he's the most with the, tying game shots. Like, it's a stretch to go that far to try to get the stats. Like, it doesn't matter
Hmm.
who, everybody's gonna have their own personal goat, and
Yeah.
the debate's always gonna be there. But like, Jordan never had to really come from behind in regards to losing a series. Or, yeah, he came from behind a couple times, losing games, like game 7 against the Pacers.
That was
What year
huge.
was it?
Yup.
Right? Like,
That was like
people thought,
90,
like,
98, something like
yeah,
that.
something
That
like
was
that.
on his last run. His
Yeah,
last run going
yeah, and funny enough,
beating the
Jalen
Cavs.
Rose, what got me into basketball was
Mm.
the Fat Five, Michigan Wolverines college ball, with Chris Webber, Jalen
Oh,
Rose, those
legends.
boys,
Yup.
like, the baggy shorts, the black shoes. That's what got me into basketball. So seeing Jalen
These
Rose,
guys.
almost, yeah, yeah, those guys were like all freshmen, that unheard of, all freshmen
Crazy.
playing college ball and getting to the finals of the Final Four. Like, oh, it was so frustrating that they didn't win. But like Jalen in that
It was
series,
it was against Duke, right? Duke and
no,
Christian Laettner.
we won't speak of this. We won't speak of this. Brings back memories.
Oh, Grant Hill and them. Yup,
Yeah,
yup.
yeah, man, that was so frustrating. But again, Jalen Rose, he was my guy. Like I remember having a hat, Michigan Wolverines hat, where my mom actually sewed number 5 on the side and Rose on the back because that was the way to
Oh,
do
that's
it back in
dope.
the day. But
Yeah.
yeah, so for him to almost beat MJ with the Pacers, I was like, man, is this gonna happen? Like I was scared, but Chicago pulled it
Mm,
off, and then the history is history. But yeah, it's crazy. So for them to compare that, the mentality is the biggest thing for me. The mentality
the
of
mentality,
Jordan
yo.
and Kobe's killer instinct. Like Westbrook, I think, like Shadow was saying, like Westbrook when he was in his prime in OKC, he was different. Like
Oh,
man, this
savage.
guy,
I
I was like,
loved
wow,
Westbrook.
yeah.
Yup,
Like the way he
yup.
played, the intensity he played with every game, I was like, man, this guy is crazy. So yeah,
Mhm. So
yeah,
me,
super
I'm
fun.
taking. I searched up the Pacers versus Bulls. I wish I watched that live. I saw
Oh
some,
man,
YouTube
yeah.
videos. They looked nuts, man. They were
Hmm.
fighting. These teams are going off. 90s
Hmm.
basketball. You're looking at Reggie Miller's face. This guy's going off. Jordan's going off, and this is
Yeah,
older Jordan. This is not
yeah.
Jordan when he's like young and
Mm-mm.
no, it's Jordan
No,
at advanced age,
this is
just
what
going in.
34, I think 34,
So
35-year-old Jordan.
yeah,
So
something like that.
still scoring
Oh,
40 points, right? So, but
crazy.
different era, different league, different mentalities for sure. But like I'm not debating because the biggest debate is, oh, this league nowadays is more talented, people are more
Mm,
athletic, all this stuff. Yeah, 100% they are, right? They have more
yeah.
stuff. They have nutritionists. They have fucking sorry. They have personal trainers, all that stuff. Like every professional team league or team has that now. Back then,
Hmm.
they really didn't. There was no nutritionist on the team. These guys were out drinking, partying, smoking cigars, right?
They
driving
just came
driving
from
their
having a
trucks Monday to
bender
Friday.
and then they come turn up. They having a bender and then they go play ball for like
Yeah.
40 minutes.
So
It is impressive, I will say that. But one guy that really impressed me as we get closer to finishing this podcast was this dude, man. Game 7 today.
yeah, I
Donovan
didn't
Mitchell.
watch it. Are they playing right now? I think they're playing right now. No.
They played earlier today.
Mm,
It's Cleveland versus the Orlando Magic.
Magic. Yeah.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking at the stats over here. I think Donovan had 39, damn near 40 points. I'm just gonna share the screen right here.
Hmm. Hmm.
Donovan Mitchell had 39. I watched the end. I watched the fourth quarter, and he was getting buckets.
Yeah.
39 points, 9 boards, 5 assists. By the way, shout out Shadow who said MJ can say thanks to his teammates for making him the GOAT he is. Hey, that's the best argument we have against MJ because MJ, before we go out with Donovan Mitchell, MJ before he had, what I mean, before he had Scottie Pippen, before he got Horace Grant, before he got Charles Oakley, he was getting his bum smacked on the bum by the Pistons,
Hmm.
smacked on the bum by Boston. Really, like I'm talking African beatings from Boston Celtics. And if you African, you know about the beatings. African beatings from all Boston, from even the Cavs. Actually, the Cavs kind of beat him a bit early.
Like yeah, the
They
Cavs
had
gave him
some
challenging.
guys. He was getting worked.
Hmm.
So yes, Shadow, I agree with you. When he got Scotty, when he got Grant, when he got Rodman, when he got a ton of guys, even Kukoc, all these guys helped Jordan become who he is. LeBron, I can't lie, he's had amazing teammates too. But when we
Look
say the
look at
GOAT
look at how many
conversation,
All Stars. Look at how many All Stars LeBron has played than Jordan has played.
mm,
Right? Can you make that argument? Of course you can. But
yeah,
the mentality of when he changed from, tired of losing, he got some quality players that weren't on benders every night, right? Because, yeah, Jordan in his early
true.
years, all he thought about was scoring. This is why the man was scoring 40, 50 points, 63 against Boston. Like that's all he
Yeah.
cared about. That's all he was known for, and that's what made the NBA from pretty dull in the 80s, besides the fights, to scoring. Oh, okay, this guy's entertaining. This guy's flying through the air. All this nonsense. But
Mm-hmm.
as soon as he got a quality coach, Phil Jackson, as soon as he got quality teammates that helped him realize, you know what, it's not just about scoring, right? Team ball. Let's play some team ball, and then there you
Yeah.
go, and the rest is
When
history, as they say.
when this guy introduced that triangle
Mhm.
and made Jordan's pass the ball and not be selfish, they started getting dubs. And like Shadow says right here, even yes, the Showtime Lakers when their dynasty was almost done, they were spanking
Yep.
Jordan, and now he was getting Spanish beatings. They were
Yep.
not just they became African beatings, then they
No.
became Spanish beating, and he got
Multicultural for
interchanged. He was
sure.
getting beat. You know what I
Hundred
mean?
percent. And I agree with you. I'm not a LeBron fan where I'll disagree with you on every little point you make. Nah, 100%. He was not getting past first round of the playoffs, even if he did make the playoffs. Right?
Yeah,
Everybody comments, oh well, LeBron first year in the league took a bums Cavs team to the playoff run, whatever. That yeah, 100%, because that's what he was
hmm
meant to do. Right? He was
yeah,
chosen, as they say. That's because he was 6'8", 260. Like, of course, the man's gonna make an impact right away. So,
yeah,
but yeah, that's the one thing. Once Jordan realized, and he was pretty much forced to realize that basketball is
yeah.
a team game. It's not one-on-one ISO stuff. It's team game. There's five guys. Make it work. Make the chemistry work, and then you win. Plain and simple.
Great point. I as we can continue doing this. By the way, shout out to Roy with a comment. Great podcast. Keep up the work. Appreciate that. If y'all want to see us do this more often, I think we will. Maybe once a week. Maybe we'll talk on the back end. I really enjoy these conversations. I know we're gonna have more LeBron debates. I know it. I
Listen,
know it.
I got stats. If you want to do stats and all that stuff, yeah, we can go.
Oh
You
damn!
know,
I can't wait.
the debate's always gonna be there, and no matter
Yeah.
what you come at me with, it's like I said, Jordan's my goat. Kobe's the goat for
Mhm.
other people. LeBron is the goat for other people, and then but when you look at historical careers, is
Mm,
LeBron's an historical career individually? Yes, you can't deny
mm,
that. The man, his stats speak for themselves. But when you look
yeah.
at a career overall, look at Kareem. The man won in high school, won in college, won at every level that he could possibly play at. So why isn't he
Yes, sir.
in more of the GOAT debate? Right? Did he change the game? Not really. Well, maybe with the
Mm-hmm.
sky hook, which was unguardable, but he didn't. The one thing I say that Jordan has over LeBron is that he made basketball global. Basketball wasn't global before
Oh
Jordan,
yes.
right?
Oh yes.
And that's the difference there.
We can't debate that fact. As great as Kareem was, as great as Magic was, Larry Bird, nobody made the game more global than MJ.
Hmm.
You had people all over the planet going crazy for Jordan. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
We still wear J's to this day, man. We don't wear LeBrons. I
I
love
was gonna
LeBron. We
say
don't wear LeBrons.
no.
You know what
I
I
think
mean?
I've bought in one pair of Lebrons and they
Yeah.
fell apart after like 3 months of wearing them. So I was like, that was
Damn.
the one and only pair of Lebrons I ever have. I still have my Jordan 11s from 2001 that I bought.
Wow.
They're still upstairs. So yeah,
Wow. Quality,
yeah.
and the shoes are nice. You just wear them regular day, just
Hmm.
chilling. You know what I mean? Jay's. I'll say this in terms of impact, it's not even close. It's clearly MJ. MJ made basketball cool, popular. He even made baldies popular, man.
Yeah,
Home mans
yeah.
who
It's
could
true.
grow
It's
all
true.
the hair, they were cutting it off, dog,
Yeah,
just to be like Mike, man.
100%, 100%.
I will say this before we close out. I at least want to acknowledge what Donovan Mitchell did for
Hmm.
that series because the Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs are going to be playing. They're going to be playing the Boston Celtics next round. Um, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think the Celtics have a chance because they needed 7 games to pass Orlando? Boston, I think, is the heavy favorite. What do you think about that series? What do you think about the Cavs in general?
The Cavs in general, they've been pretty steady. They're like that.
Hmm
that team that performs, you're always going to get good games out of them. But Donovan Mitchell is, even when he was in Utah, this kid can score. This kid can play, and everybody knows
Mm,
that. So as long as some of the teammates, step up and help him out, they will give Boston a run. But it all depends on Tatum, on Brown. See if these guys perform consistently. If they do, then
yeah.
it's unfortunately it may not be a close series at all. But it all
Mm,
depends because Spider's consistent as where the other two aren't. So
fair
it's
point.
hard to see. It's going to be a good series for sure. Is it going to go seven? Six, six. I'm thinking six, but
Yeah.
hopefully it goes seven. And as much as I'm like I said, I was a Tatum fan. I want to say I still am a Tatum fan because I think the kid's good, but um, I kind of want to see them realize the fact
Mm,
that they have to be consistent in order to win. So, and if that means getting beat by Cleveland, that means getting beat by Cleveland.
um, that's a great point you made because last year Boston were basically in the same situation. They were the best team in the regular season.
Mhm.
They were killing off teams until they met Miami in the conference finals, and they were not consistent at all. You
Mm-mm.
know, you'd have one great game by this guy Tatum, then he'd disappear. You'd have Jalen Brown who's trying to go dribble on his left hand and he's getting stole steals. Like you had crazy things happen. But when they're consistent and when they're hot, they are a very tough team to beat,
Mm-hmm.
man.
Yeah,
Very hard team to beat, brother. You know what
hundred
I mean?
percent, 100%. So we'll see. We'll see if they show up. They got
Absolutely.
they got some rest
Absolutely.
days, so hopefully they get the rest in, and then you know we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Like this, I think this year has been the most playoff games I've seen in a long time. I'll be
Yeah.
100% honest. Like, and now that LeBron's out, it's more enjoyable basketball. So
Oh, this guy, you had to get
I had
that
to I
shot
had to
in,
get that
bro.
shot in. I was getting cooked all podcast, so I had to get that shot in.
Oh man. Well, you know what? On that note, we're gonna let everybody go. We appreciate y'all for coming in and having a vibe with us. Hefe, Unc, and nephew, Big Steppa, Jay. We appreciate y'all. Everybody from Shadow, from Roy, Kiana, who was here. Appreciate y'all for coming in and tuning in, tapping in with us. We might do this next week. We'll keep y'all updated.
Yeah,
Appreciate y'all.
keep
And
going,
we
get
out.
some games in, then we'll see where we are.
Definitely, definitely. Deuces.
All right, bro.